Now, Jim Rohn has a famous quote, and that is, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." Now, I love that quote so much because it is so true. But when it comes to our love life, I actually like to adjust that quote a little bit because really, at the end of the day, you are the average of the person that you marry. I mean, you spend more time with them than anyone else times 100. And now that we know how important this decision really is, I'm here to tell you as your coach, if you're trying to get out there and find that person, the person that you marry is the average of the places that you go. This is a very long way of saying that if you meet men in low value places, you, my beautiful lady, will become low value yourself. So here are 5 places where I do not recommend you go to meet men. Keep watching. Hey there, my name's Adam Littleton from lovestrategies.com, where I help successful single women get out there and attract long-lasting love and do it with a proven strategy. And sometimes as a coach, when we think about our love strategy, we need to not only think about what to do in our love life, but we also need to think about what not to do. And that's why I want to create this very specific video, because I have a feeling a number of you are going to one of these 5 places to meet men, and it can really set you up for a lot of heartache and failure in your love life. Number 1 is bars. As you may have noticed, lots of alcohol doesn't usually lead to really authentic conversations. And it might lead you to wonder why he's at the bar so much. Now look, I should say, I love bars. And I do go to bars with my wife and with friends, and it's really fun, and I love to drink alcohol, okay? I'm not one of those people who says, don't drink alcohol. But when it comes to your love life, consistently going to just bars, hoping to bump into a random person and expect that he's going to be a high value man who's successful in his life, that is not the strategy where I'd want to invest my real time and real energy into, especially if I'm as busy as probably you are as being a successful single woman who's in this community. Which leads me to number 2, which is nightclubs. I remember there was once a time in my life about 15 years ago where for whatever reason, I really wanted to learn how to meet women in nightclubs. And it's kind of weird because I never liked nightclubs. Like, there's never once a moment where I'd walk into a nightclub and be like, this is fun. Like, it's dark, there's loud music, I can just dance my night away. I've never felt that way. But I remember I started like doing some research and started learning and started talking to a lot of coaches and so on and so forth and started to learn this stuff. And I came to this realization that all of the people who regularly go to nightclubs are not the type of people I would ever want to meet. That's why it wasn't working. I mean, so much alcohol, so much loud music, so much sensory deprivation is just a recipe for disaster. Now look, nightclubs are really good for hookups, and if that's what you're into, by all means, go for it. But chances are, if you're watching this type of content or listening to this, you're looking for something real. And all of this leads to so many people waking up the next morning after hooking up with some random person being like, what was I thinking? Ladies, you probably don't want to be doing the walk of shame with some guy's dirty sweatshirt. Number 3 is in the workplace. Now, are there probably high value men in your workplace? Chances are, yes, guys who are on your level. And do some people meet their partners and their mates at the workplace? Actually, statistically speaking, yeah, a lot of people do. However, this would not be my recommended place for you to meet your man because it's a massive risk to your career. Look, if it works out at the end of the day, fantastic. You met a great partner through your workplace. But if it doesn't, God help us when we have to go to the water cooler and have conversation and then the rumors start to spread and it can actually have quite a negative impact on your career. So unless you've known a guy for a long time and there are really strong feelings involved as well as a friendship already built, I would not recommend just diving into a relationship with someone you met at the workplace. And if there is a guy at the workplace that you really like, make sure you're also spreading the love elsewhere, really broadening your horizons as to where else you can meet guys. And then with this particular guy in the workplace, slow play it. Slow it down. You might be a little bit flirtatious. You might kind of give him some of those green light signals that you're interested, flirt a little bit, but don't allow yourself to get into that moment of like confessing all of your feelings for this guy or getting drunk one night and hooking up with him. All right. Slow play it, let it build. And if it turns into something great, but I would not put all of my energy into that one channel of meeting people. Number 4 is any place where there are bachelor parties. Look, when guys get around a bunch of other guys, we get exponentially dumber. We tend to feel that need to act like a little bit more manly around our guy friends, which doesn't typically mean treating women all that well. I mean, sometimes a single guy's on a bachelor party and he's on the lookout for his potential dream woman that he can settle down with, and he won't feel even an ounce of guilt bailing on his lifelong buddies to spend the night chatting to a girl he just met. But that is very rare. Trust me, take it from a guy who's been on many bachelor parties, and by the way, I'm going on a bachelor party in about 4 months, which I'm pretty excited about. These guys are not looking for anything too serious. Stay away. And number 5 is Tinder, or really any other online dating hookup apps. Now, I should say, when all of our clients get to what we call little of step number 3, where we're getting out there and attracting high value men, I do have my clients using a number of different online dating apps. But there's a difference between the types of brands of apps that we'd recommend. Tinder is definitely not one that we recommend, because at the end of the day, Tinder is really marketed towards short-term flings. I remember about 10 years ago when Tinder first came out, I was a dating coach and I happened to be single at the time. And I remember, you know what? I should try out all the different avenues that are available to meeting people. So I downloaded Tinder and I met actually a really nice girl through that app. But as you might expect, that first night that we met, we ended up sleeping together. And what's really funny about this situation is it actually ended up kind of becoming a thing. Like, it almost turned into, it wasn't ever exclusive, but like we were dating like quite a bit. But there was definitely something always in the back of my mind that told me, because I met her on Tinder and because we slept together on that first night, it was never going to be a real thing. It wasn't going to go anywhere. And as I'm thinking back on this, there is actually a really well-known cognitive bias, what is known as the primacy effect, which is basically what we first learn about a person, it carries more weight than what we learn later. And for me, probably just had this immediate like impression of this woman who, for all we know, she was great and that was like a one-time thing for her. But it was always in the back of my mind where I was like, there's no way I could marry her. Have you ever experienced something like that before? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, or if I'm a little crazy here. Now look, with all this said, of course it's possible to meet a good man anywhere, but your environment definitely matters. So set yourself up for success and stack the odds in your favor. And if you're really serious about meeting a high value man, then make sure you start hanging out where these guys hang out, and you're way more likely to meet one of these guys. So where do you meet these guys? Well, there are 5 places that you can meet high value men, and I call this my starfish strategy to meet high value men. I have a free training that walks you through exactly how to do this. Just head on over to lovestrategies.com, click the link in the description or anywhere on this page, and we're going to walk you through the step-by-step strategy to meeting high value men, get you out there and attract the man you deeply desire. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.